Let's work on our dashboard page and connect to the Stripe portal so the users can manage their subscription and change their plans. Let's go to component and create a dashboard.js file. And let's start moving some of the code that we have in here. Let's also import React from React. And let's export the dashboard component. Let's go back to the app and import the dash component. And here we still have our page working fine. Let's go back to the dashboard. And here we want to enhance this. So let's return and maybe wrap everything inside of a div. We're gonna need our user object. So let's import the identity context. And then here we'll extract it from the context. Let's also make sure we import the use context from React. Now let's add a button to manage the subscription. And the onClick, we're gonna call a netlify function that we'll create later. The event handler here is gonna be an async function. And we would like to request a link. And this link will be coming from our netlify function that we will create in a moment. And let's call this get-portal.url. The method is gonna be post. And we're gonna send the header authorization with the user token. So here we have a bearer. And we'll get the token from user.token.access token. So this way we make sure that our request is authenticated. Then we will transform a response to JSON. And once we have the URL, we will redirect to that. Cool. Now let's generate this URL using the Stripe SDK. So let's go to our functions and get this name here and create a function called get-portal-url.js. We will do a couple of imports, the Stripe SDK and the node fetch. And here we'll export our handler. We will get event and context. First thing, we need to extract the user to make sure that this call is authenticated. And we can get the user from the context.client context. Let's also set a result. This will hold the response coming from Stripe. And here we will have a try catch. And we will do a similar fetch request that we did in the identity signup. Here the method is post. We will send the admin secret as usual. And our query is gonna be called getUser by netlify ID. You can name it whatever you want. And we will send the user ID coming from the token. And we would like to get the Stripe customer ID. And you can see here the user ID is coming from user.sub. It's called user.sub inside of the netlify function, and it's not user.id. So now let's catch our errors. And as usual here, we will console error and return a 500 status. If the request is successful, let's get the Stripe customer ID. And let's build the link using the Stripe SDK. And then here inside of the session create, we need to pass in the customer and also the return URL. So for the customer, it's gonna be the Stripe customer ID. And the return URL, we can use environment variable available for us. It's called URL. Once the link is done, we need to return it to our client so we can redirect to it. Let's save. And here we can use netlify CLI to test the function locally. For that, I did npm install globally the netlify CLI. And also you want to do netlify .link This will detect the project based on the repository. And once that's done, you can do netlify dev. And the way to define this dev, you can create a netlify toml file here, and you can have a dev and the command that you want to run for when you're doing dev. So let's do netlify dev. You can see here it's pulling all the environment variables locally. And let's refresh here, go to our dashboard. We already logged in. We will click manage subscriptions. And here is saying an expected end of JSON input. Let's go to our dashboard, and in the get portal, maybe here, let's console log this link. Let's refresh and go to the dashboard and click manage. Let's console log the response in here and disable the redirection for now. Okay, looks like we have a response, and it's 404. Okay, yeah, here it needs to be dot netlify. So here, let's also change this back to response.json. Save. Let's go to the dashboard, manage subscription, and we're getting the URL in here. So let's enable the redirection again, refresh, and click manage subscription. And you can see here it's redirecting us to Stripe billing. And I can update my plan. For example, I can want to take maybe the basic, and I can confirm. And here I can put a credit card like 44424242, and then click continue. And I updated my plan. Let's go back to our URL. But you can see here the plan is still free, and that's we're gonna cover in the next lesson. We will use Stripe webhooks to update the plan.